Do you think, Goblin, that we're any closer than a couple of years ago, maybe to federal legalization for weed? Because that seems like just the next big thing.
We're further
away from it.
We're further. Oh, Amelia. Oh, bro. Oh, you just opened my can of worms, dude. Hold on. So, all right. So
educate us.
Let me give a little bit of background lore on like myself and like, because I own a brand in the hemp industry. So I ship THCA to people's doors, and I've been doing it for like 2 years now. My partner in the brand is one of the biggest brands in the entire industry. And in the basically all of the past year, 2025, there's been like a million different attempts to try to ban this hemp industry that emerged from the 2018 Farm Bill. All of the, like, when you go to the smoke shop and they have weed in a jar and you're like, am I a fucking smoke shop or a dispo? That's all because of the Farm Bill that passed in 2018 that legalized all these hemp products, right? In 2025, there's been like countless attempts by a bunch of politicians who have basically been bought out by like big tobacco and alcohol companies to close that. Some people call it a loophole. It's not a loophole. I think it's more they didn't apply enough like discretion when they wrote the law legalizing hemp products, and effectively they legalized everything. You know, like there's products that you can go to the dispensary in any state in the country right now and buy that by the federal definition are hemp that you can just ship. But the only reason they don't is because they're manufactured by a brand that isn't licensed in that industry. And just like 2 weeks ago in the 2026 spending bill, which ended the longest government shutdown ever, Mitch McConnell at the very end of the very last version of the bill sneaks in this amendment that redefines hemp products in a way that bans literally everything. Full spectrum CBD is banned effective a year from that day. All the THCA products are banned a year from that day. All the sketchy gas station edibles like the Delta 8 shit and all the sketchy stuff you see is banned. Everything, pretty much every, cannabinoid or cannabis or hemp related product that you can find in a smoke shop outside of like a licensed state dispensary is gone as of November 12th, 2026. And the reason that they snuck it into the spending bill is because they tried it with the 2026 Farm Bill and it got shot down pretty fast. They've tried a bunch of other bills that they've been pushing for, and that got shot down. And the entire reason that like these tobacco and alcohol companies are pushing for this is they're getting ravaged by the hemp industry. Yeah. You know, there's just not enough regulation for the hemp industry. And as someone who owns a brand in it, like there should be way more regulation. It's pretty sketchy what you're legally able to sell right now, but an outright ban is not the way to do it. And these alcohol companies hate that people are getting these CBD or THC seltzers now instead of going and buying a beer. They hate it, you know? Yeah. So they had to put a stop to that. And I think overall, Trump has, like, from my understanding, I think he's kind of made it clear that like he doesn't really have much of a take on legal cannabis, and he'll kind of go wherever wherever the GOP's heading. And unfortunately, cannabis legalization in this country is almost entirely dictated by lobbying money. Like it is literally a battle of like, yo, who's got the most bread to make a polite donation, you know? And unfortunately, tobacco and alcohol companies have a lot more money than the multi-state operating cannabis companies that want it legal. So, until that changes, I think, we're pretty far from it right now. It would take like a different administration with a different approach to change it.
I think I'm just, that sucks.
It does blow, dude.
I think I'm just biased because I'm from Missouri and we legalized it here, and we're like one of the reddest states in the country. And so I just thought by that, like, oh, well, it'll extend, like Georgia's more purple than us. North Carolina's more purple than us. Maybe that'll work in the right direction, but I guess not. Mitch McConnell. And was it even Mitch McConnell who put that in the bill? There's no fucking way it was him. It was some staffer who threw that in, some person making a little pharma money. He doesn't know what
any of this shit means, dude. He has no idea. He hasn't read it.
3 minutes. He's like falling down twitching every 3 minutes, and we still pretend he's making decisions.
Dude, it was like 1,000 pages deep in the 2026 spending bill, snuck in this tiny little 2-line amendment that they had to vote on 12 hours later. Not a single person that voted yes on that spending bill read that amendment.
Sure, but they voted on the amendment too. And I don't give them the pass that you're giving them. Like, you fucking approve the amendment. Suck a dick, everyone who voted for it. Like he didn't slip it in there without it being voted on. They voted to add that amendment to the spending bill. Now, passing the spending bill, I get some of them may have felt like their hands are tied. There's people literally starving because SNAP's not going out. Like, I get it.
Yep.
But voting on the amendment, no excuse. You voted to do this. This is where you stand.
We just need one
100%.
better guy around Trump, because I agree with Goblin that like Trump doesn't seem to give a fuck about weed either way. Like he's a famous teetotaler. He's not using it either way. He doesn't really care, but he is going to go along with whoever he respects most, who's closest to him. Like it could be as much as someone being like, you know what, maybe weed isn't that bad, and he'd be like, whatever, it's fine. And then
this is like it's kind of splitting hairs, but the Delta 8 stuff is so different from weed. Like there's a lot of people who would who would vote. Yeah, but legally speaking, it is. It's Wild West, 50 state legal marijuana in every like denomination and every way of isolating it, just in stores, in smoke shops. That's not what a lot of people want, and what a lot of people voted for. They want legalized marijuana that's taxed and regulated and weighed and measured, and that there's no issues with it. The way it is now, like. Look, I'm fucking almost 40. I go buy my shit at the dispensary or order it online or whatever, and that's that. But I would imagine if you're like a teenager, it's just really easy to get like Delta 8 vapes and gummies these days because they're just everywhere. Gas stations have them. It's crazy.
Yep.
I mean,
probably like
gas
beer.
Stations have them.
It's probably like beer or alcohol. I could have said.
I bet it's even easier.
So easier.
Yeah, it's way easier. Yep.
Explain to me why.
Because there aren't like little siloed distributors that you can go get for beer. Like there are guys with weed connects. Like if you want beer and you're underage, you kind of have to either have a parent or older sibling, or you got to pull a hey mister, and that's how you have to do it, because it's all sold
also
in a lot of states, just in like regulated state-run shops.
That's how.
But if you want alcohol,
but there's still drug dealers. Like there's still regular drug dealers to just
that's
go.
What you mean? Drug dealers.
Yeah. And so there's way more options if you're trying.
In my head, I'm like, I don't know why the gas station people would be diligent about cigarettes and beer, yet let vape slide without getting carded. I thought that was your argument. I didn't.
Do they even have to card people for Delta 8?
No,
they don't have to card them at all.
No, so
what I'm
this
saying.
is one of the really interesting parts, because of the way the 2018 Farm Bill is kind of worded. What legalized all this is like they never expected an intoxicating product to come out of that legislation, so they never put any requirement for ID checks or anything, because it was supposed to be like people making hemp t-shirts, and like their warehouse and shit. And like now there's just synthetic cannabinoid carts at gas stations. And like, even for like my brand, like we ask people, hey, are you 21 plus? That passes the legal responsibility onto them. Every brand that does that out of good faith. There's no actual, like, if for example, let's say myself, I open up a store called like buyweedonline.com, and my first ever customer is a literal like 14-year-old kid, dude. And he sends an email to us after placing his order, and he's like, I'm 14. Can you double wrap it so my mom doesn't smell it when it gets here? Of course, like logically, we're like, we should just cancel this guy's order. But like, there's a lot of vendors that will just be like, yeah, dude, 100%, we'll double wrap it and ship it. That's their bread and butter.
Damn. I didn't know it was that sketchy.
And also, like, if you're talking about like a high school level black market product, if you're 16 and you're wanting some beer to like get drunk tonight with your buddies, that's a lot of beer you need. That's a lot of square inches of product that you need. But if we want to get high on gummies, I need like a pocket full of gummies. Each of us needs one gummy, and I've got them in my pocket, and they look just like something that's perfectly legal. They look like gummy bears. They don't say Budweiser in a big 16-ounce can, and I got to have like 20 of them so me and my boys can go have a good time. It's just like 3 pieces of candy in my pocket, and now we're all blazed.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, it is way easier to get fucked up on weed than alcohol.
I always hear stories of like the bathrooms in high school now are like people just installs passing the vape around. Just everybody's getting blazed before class, and I'm like,
that can't be good. That can't be a good evolution.
Imagine yourself in high school, and when I was in high school, I remember somebody brought weed one time, and everybody was like, all right, well, lock everything the fuck down and call the cops and bring the dogs. That's what they did. Because it's like, somebody just smoked a joint at fucking school. We're going to get them. But if you've got a vape in the bathroom, it smells like Fruity Tooty. You know, like to most people,
there's a lot of vapes
indistinguishable from nicotine.
Yeah, either nicotine or some are just flavored. I think
some are just flavored. Yeah,
super innocent vapes.
These come in just flavor too. Like you can get these in stick, or you
that?
can get them in just flavor. This is Mexican mango. It's delicious.